Warning, warning. This is a global ice out. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing the left speaker. Left. Sound successfully recovered. Swan Commander. Connected. And now, the countdown has begun. And now, are you ready for a journey that goes beyond the norms? The Federal Prospects Hockey League just celebrated its 15th anniversary. With a footprint and fan base rapidly expanding, Swan Hockey is now bringing you behind the scenes. Beyond what you see at games. Beyond the arenas. Beyond the crowds. This is FPHL, Beyond the Glass.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass. I'm your host, Eric Swanek, Swan Commander on social media, and this is the official podcast of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. This is the Week 17 episode of the 2025-2026 regular season. Before we get into this, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard the terrible news out of Danbury. Danbury Hat-Tricks captain Johnny Ruiz has suffered a large stroke affecting the area of his brain responsible for speech and cognitive function. Please keep Johnny and his family in your thoughts and prayers. There's a GoFundMe set up. If you'd like to contribute, you can access it through the Danbury Hat-Tricks Facebook page or reach out to the Danbury Hat-Tricks for more information. Week 17 of the 2025-2026 regular season was a wild one. Binghamton dropped 2 games this weekend. They are now on, can't believe we're going to say this, but a 3-game skid. Twin City beat them 2 times this weekend, as Twin City is in a absolute heated battle for the 4 or 5 spot in the Continental Division. They currently are in 4. They are separated by 1 point with PD Ice Cats, who have been getting some unbelievable goaltending from Parker Rutherford. Perhaps he is the missing piece. PD, they've had a very good team all year, haven't had the results that they really, obviously desired. Parker Rutherford has come in and he's won 3 monster games in his last 4, 2 of them against Athens, 1 against Binghamton. So PD is rolling, Twin City rolling. We're going to keep an eye on that matchup as, again, that whole Continental Division is extremely tight right now. Those 2 teams going for 4-5. And then Monroe and Athens battling it out for 1-2. Columbus sitting in 3 right now. In this episode, we're going to catch up with Twin City Thunderbirds head coach Steve Harrison, and we're going to sit down with Dave Jackson for our 1 suspension. Yes, that's right, 1 suspension, and also a wacky situation in Watertown with a goal that was called. So we're going to get into that with Dave. After that, we'll do our proof of attendance token code. Let's go. What's going on, Steve? Welcome back to the show. How's everything going?
Well, we're slowly but surely putting some things together here. You know what I mean? And it's been a long year as far as trying to a little different than the last couple of years, where things were kind of right off the bat. We were playing well and we were rolling a little bit, and we had a few ups and downs. But this year here has just been trying to put it together. We've got a lot of new players and trying to just get a formula that's going to be consistent night in and night out and for 60 minutes. And as I said, it's just been a little, I don't want to say trying. It's been a great experience. I've enjoyed it. But as I said, it's just been one of those years where, you got to grind it out. You got to keep your head up. And as I said, for the most part, I like the way we've played most of the season, just not consistently. And when I say that, we play a good game and then the next night we play, 50 minutes, or then we play, we have a bad 9 or 10 minutes, in the middle of the second period. So just trying to get that whole 60 minutes and together has been it's been a chore, but I see it coming and slowly but surely, but it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's the consistency is so important in this league, because you look at a league like the NHL and, you have a bad 9 or 10 minutes, it could result in a lot of pressure in your own end, wearing you down. bad 9 or 10 minutes in this league could result in 3 goals against.
No question. And our division here too, and I'm not knocking the other division, but in our division, who we've played most of the time, it's been. I think we played 33 games so far, and I think we played 33 playoff games. I don't know if we've had a game where I've gone in the second period, at the end of the second period, or even after the first period, and thinking, okay, we're playing well enough, or it's not close, and like it's close, and so
Yeah.
we've gone down. I think I pulled the goalie. I'm not sure how many times this year, and they've pulled the goalie on us more than I've ever seen. So it's like 33 playoff games. So it's been a challenge. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it because that's what you enjoy. You don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, you don't mind winning 6-1, but you don't like to lose 6-1. But again, it's those things haven't happened this year, and so it's been playoff type hockey, and I think the fans have enjoyed it.
Yeah, and your division so ultra competitive. Like we've talked about that the last few weeks on the show. And a lot of times specifically about you guys and PD. You guys right now are separated by 1 point. It's a super tight race for that final playoff spot, that 4-5 spot right now. It's a very, very tight race. Gary was on here. He had mentioned how, it seemed like that you guys have just always matched whatever, when you guys won, they won. When they lost,
I think we went 4 in a row. We lost, and then we won 3 in a row, and they won 3 in a row and lost 4 in a row. So it's been a crazy time, but we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, February and March, and everybody's playing everybody. So every night's going to be again. So I see 56 highly competitive playoff games just to even get in the playoffs. So like even teams that are fighting for it, because you're playing everybody, and if you're playing the teams or guys that are in your division, 9 points or 6 points can go swing pretty fast, and so every game's going to be important, and we're going to have to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we're talking about the toughness of the division. You guys, now this past weekend go out of the division, you get Binghamton, and you did what nobody's been able to do. You knocked them off 2 times this weekend.
Yeah. Well, since I've been here, we've played well in Binghamton, and don't get me wrong, they're a great team. They're leading the league right now. They've got a great team, and we've played well in there, but we just haven't been able to get the success that I think we deserve at times. Give them a lot of credit. They take advantage of when we make a mistake or something happen. But I think this weekend here was one of those weekends where I think maybe we got a break or two and played well. So we like going up there. As I said, it's always a challenge. It's a great rink. They got great fans, and if you're not ready, they'll take you to the cleaners. So, but as I said, the way we played this weekend as a group, and we got some breaks when we needed them. But as I said, it was both games were hard fought games, and it could have gone either way. And as I said, but this weekend here we got a little lucky, and things went our way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need that little bit of luck, right, with anything. And
well, just in anything, you know what I mean? Like we scored goals at opportune times. They came back a couple of times on us, and we got another goal right away again. And so, if you don't get that, who knows what's going to happen? And as I said, we weren't in penalty trouble as we have been there in their barn. And so, as I said, it's just things kind of went our way a little bit again. So we worked our tails off. And a lot of times when you work hard and you stick to the system and you be patient, the hockey gods reward you. And as I said, we got rewarded this weekend.
Yeah. What did that do for the locker room? Like, so, knocking off the first place team and knocking off Binghamton 2 times in one weekend.
Yeah, no.
Does that do anything for the guys where they're like, hey, we can do this? Or were they always believing in themselves to that extent?
I think it gives us some confidence, no question. I mean, if it doesn't give you confidence, then there's a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but we feel good about our group here. The weekend before that, we kind of made a bit of a comeback in the last 4 minutes to win a game. And I told the boys that, something always energizes a team somehow. And that did it. And, we came back the next weekend and won 2 big games against Binghamton. So, but I think we're getting a little bit of confidence. We're getting a little healthier. And as I said, we're starting to maybe come into the team that we want to be at the right time of year. And as I said, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a war right to the end, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, like you said it, like the right time of year, like that's so huge in this. I mean, you get hot at the right time. That's all that matters, especially. And again, like another thing we've been saying the last few episodes is just with the short playoff series in the FPHL. I mean,
Yeah.
like literally
Well,
anything.
you got to get into the
That's
dance.
2 or 3.
I mean, obviously, Athens in our division, Athens and Monroe are, they're up top, and Columbus has played well lately too. So I mean, they're going to be hard too. So, but again, it's just as you say, the playoff series. Who knows? You get into a battle. The 2 years ago, I think we ended up in second or something. I think, and went to the final. So you never know. And all you want to do is get to the dance, and then you can see what happens. And if you look around the league over the last few years, maybe not last year, but a lot of times, those you don't always have to end up in first or second to make it to the final, because, as I said, I think all teams are pretty competitive. And as I said, I know Athens and Monroe have kind of stepped up on us a little bit, but as I said, we like playing them, and we'll see how we do down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. What's been the biggest challenge so far this year for you guys?
Well, I lost a lot of guys on defense. We went to the finals last year, and I brought back one defenseman, and so it's just been trying to get that part of our game down. And it's not just the new defense; it's us as a group. The last 2 years we had the best goals against in the league. And that's why if you can do that, you're in the hunt. And this year here we've fallen off a little bit, and that's why I think some of those games where maybe we should have won or had better results, we haven't got them. So we're starting to learn that's what you got to do. It's away from the puck, and as I said, we're stressing that more and more every week, and I think it's starting to come together.
Yeah, and how much do you think, like, so obviously there's a winning, a history of winning culture with the Thunderbirds. How much do you think that plays into effect this time of year? And now, like, hey, when everything's on the line and it matters, like you said, right time of year. Okay, we're in that time of year. Now it's time to get it done like we usually do.
Oh, no question. As I said, and people expect it. The fans expect it, and that's why you play the game is to get that W. And but you got to learn how to win. That you got to learn as a group. And every year it's different. This year here it's really different. And I think we're starting to learn how to win hockey games, not just play games, but win hockey games. And that's a different look. Everybody just thinks, it's, you got a pretty good team now. Well, it's easier to win. You got to win as a group. You got to feel good about it as a group. And when you do it and you start to win as a group, then those things come together. And as I said, we're starting to come. I don't think we're where we should be at. I'm getting 2 players back, hopefully by the next time we play, and that should help us also. So, and they're coming from. They've been here for the last 3 years, or one guy's been here for quite a while. So, those situations are going to help us down the road, where you're up by 2 goals in the third period, and the party should be over, and we shouldn't worry about can the other team come back. And as I said, right now we're just on the verge of learning that, and we're getting better.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you want to add? Like, not necessarily like a player, but just whether it's a concept or something, or a mindset. Like, what's the biggest thing that you feel you guys need to add right now?
It's the consistency. It's like we've played Athens and Monroe, or we haven't played Monroe, but Athens and Columbus and Binghamton and all these teams. And don't get me wrong, they're all great teams, but we've gone toe to toe with them at times. But they've learned as a group right now how to get those last 8 minutes of the game and put it away, and we're just starting to learn how to do the deal. And as I said, it's coming. We got a ways to go, but I like the direction the team is going, and I like the atmosphere in the dressing room. As you say, I think the guys are starting to get a little confidence in themselves and as a group. So as I said, it doesn't happen overnight, and this year here it's taken a little longer than we would like to, but you only can do what you can do, and you can't hope that it's going to happen. You got to work at it and let it and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And can't remember who I asked this question to. Actually, no, I think it was Garrett. I think I put Garrett on the spot last week, so I'm gonna put you on the spot this week. Who do you want to play? Like, who would you like to? What's the most favorable matchup for you guys right now? So you guys, let's say you guys take the 4th spot. Do you want to play Athens? Or do you want to play Monroe in that first series?
Yeah, and the old cliche is it doesn't really matter, but just from a standpoint of maybe travel, you might want to play Athens. I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but either way, it's going to be a battle, and we're going to have to be prepared. If when we get there, we're going to put our best foot forward like we've done over the last couple of years, and hopefully we can surprise people. Last year, I don't think anybody in the league gave us a chance to even be in the playoffs, and we ended up winning our division. So we've got to get back to that where we believe in ourselves and can put games away. And when we get to that dance, then we're going to have to put our best foot forward and make them earn what they've got. They won first place or second place, and make them earn the points against us. And if we do that, if we make them earn it, then they deserve to beat us. But we're going to do our best to make sure that we're going to earn it, and that's all we can do.
Yeah. And I want to get, so you mentioned the travel. I want to get your take, because another thing that I asked Athens, and I think we may have talked about it with one or two other people as well, but we're talking about, so you mentioned the travel, the home ice advantage going to the 1 seed and the 2 seed. Yeah. But with the way the playoffs work, the home ice advantage also comes with some disadvantage too, in terms of
no question. But again, with our travel,
team has to travel twice. Like, so what's your take on that piece of it?
Oh, it's tough. That's tough. I trust me. Either way, it's not easy. But as you say, you win, and you're the higher seed, and you're traveling to the first game, and you hope to win that one, and then you've got to travel back home to play the next 2. So it's not easy. That the way the playoffs run, it's a tough road to get there, and that's why I said anything can happen. And so we've got to be prepared for that. But again, the only thing about Monroe would be is we play there, like we might have to work on some logistics there where it's not the sorry about that. It's not the easiest. It's not the easiest situation because we're so far away. We've done it before. We played in Port Huron my first year there, and had to travel up there and travel back and then play 2 here. So it's a battle. I know Monroe's even a little further than Port Huron was. So that's going to be the one issue for them and for us is the travel. That's why I say Athens might be a little more convenient, but again, whatever it is, you got to do it. Both teams have to do it. And it is what it is. And so you can't complain about it. As I said, I've been on both ends of it. So you've just got to take it and do your best. And that's all you can ask for. Yeah, for sure. Anything you want to end off with, Steve? Yeah, no. As I said, I've enjoyed the year. I think fans are a little leery of, okay, we're not where we probably normally are, or we're fighting for a playoff spot. And but this league is a great league right now, especially our division, where it's highly competitive. It's if you're not ready every night, and as I said, so I think it's been a great year for the FPHL. I think fans have come on all different rinks where it's been great games. Like even the other day, I know Binghamton fans were a little disappointed that they lost, but they were 2 great games. And even the games that we've lost this year, they've been great games against Athens or Columbus. And when we've won, again, you can't get any better. And if I'm a fan of watching our hockey, I'm pretty lucky because you're getting high quality games and with a lot of action. And as I said, that's what you go. It's entertainment, and I think it's been great for the league this year. So I'm glad I'm a part of it, and hopefully I can be a part of it right till the end of May. Yeah, for sure. Well, Steve, thank you very much for doing this. Best of luck the rest of the year. Thanks very much. Good talking to you again. You take care. You too, Steve. Okay. What's going on, Dave? Welcome back.
Eric, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. We got a quiet week, one suspension. So let's get into that, and then we're gonna get into something else a little bit outside that. But I think that everyone's gonna learn a bit and enjoy.
You know what? For the older viewers, older listeners, they'll get this reference. But I kind of felt like the Maytag repairman this weekend, just sitting around and waiting to do my job, and everybody was behaving and doing their job. So my phone wasn't ringing. There's no emails coming through, which is good. It's good for the game. It's good for the league. The fewer suspensions we have, the fewer reviews we have, I think it's better for everybody. It just means we're having good, hard hockey, and that's what we like to see. Um, One suspension, it was for verbal abuse of the officials. Unfortunately, this player used a slur that is one of our forbidden words. There's no list of the words we forbid, but you can take a pretty good guess as to the top 2 or 3 words that you don't say. And the player used that language, and unfortunately, it cost him 2 games. That's the FPHL Executive Board lewd gesture and slur policy. First time offender, it's 2 games, and the reason for it is that we have families in the audience. We have families in the crowd. We have families with kids. The kids hear this stuff, and A, we don't want them repeating it, and B, it probably could affect any number of people or kids in the stands and be directly a personal attack on them. So we don't need that kind of language, and for that he'll sit 2 games and we'll move on. But that's all we had as far as reviews and suspensions. So nice light week for me.
Yeah, that's nice. I think the fans are starting to catch on too. I think we've talked about it enough. We've had a lot of the same issues since the beginning of the season. I think a lot of the fans are maybe more in tune than the players at this point with some of it.
Let's hope so. I mean, you can still drop F bombs. You can still have your hockey culture language. You just words you got to veer away from.
Yeah,
We're trying to be family entertainment.
yeah,
And
and you can still get away with more than most people can get away with in their workplace, right? Kind of a rule of thumb. If you can't go into your office or wherever and scream it, it's probably not going to work out in the
you know,
FPHL. I mean, it's probably looser here, but
had his choice of words been a little different with just as many F bombs in it, he'd probably be looking at a 2-minute minor, maybe a 10-minute misconduct, and not be facing 2 games. But hopefully he learns from it. Hopefully his teammates learn from it. Hopefully the league learns from it. We've had too many of them so far this year, and we're working on it. The good thing is we haven't had any repeat offenders. So it seems that people apparently are at least learning their lesson when they do get suspended.
yeah, for sure. Let's dive into, so let's drift outside player safety. Watertown game, the goal that was allowed, there was a lot of, controversy over it. From you and I speaking before we recorded this, the referees did get it right. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting sequence here, and a lot of opinions on it. And well, let's just delve right into it. So what happened was the defensive team, I believe the defensive team was Watertown, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the defensive team, there was a scramble in front of the net, and the defensive player pushed an offensive player really hard into the back of the net. The net comes off its moorings, and the net spins sideways. So now you've got the net sitting, the left post is kind of in the blue paint in the crease, and the right post is kind of sitting in the net where, the back of the net would be. It's sideways. It's basically rotated 180 degrees, or I guess 90 degrees. The net's rotated 90 degrees. And the offensive player has the puck on his stick. He shoots, beats the goaltender, but the puck hits the side of the post, because the net's now turned sideways. And then bounces up, hits the goaltender in the back, rolls down his back and sort of across the goal line, never crosses the goal line. Referee kills the play and awards the goal. Now, I'll explain the rule. The rule is if the defensive team knocks the net off intentionally or accidentally. It doesn't have to be intentional. It could be completely accidental, but it has to be the defensive team. If the offensive team knocks the net off, it's an immediate whistle. Unless the defensive team has the puck and they're going the other way on a breakaway or something, then you let the play roll. But if it's a scramble around the net and the offensive team knocks the net off, it's an automatic whistle. The defensive team knocks the net off, which they did, and there's imminent scoring opportunity. You allow the play to continue. In this case, the player shot the puck. Normally what would happen is it would cross the goal line between where the goalposts should have been, right? It goes through and the net might be like off to the side, or the net might be only one goalpost off and sort of turn sideways.
6 inches or whatever.
Exactly. And the puck ends up going into the net, but it keeps on going, hits the end boards because there's no net there. And the referee is allowed to award a goal and say, had the net been in its regular position, that would have been a goal. The puck passed between where the goalposts are. Well, this is a little bit different. It's a little more greasy in the fact that the goal, because it was turned sideways, it was rotated 90 degrees, half the goal was in front of the goal line, and it prevented the puck from actually crossing the goal line. You don't see that very often, but it did beat
the extreme version.
Exactly. But in the referee's opinion, and they reviewed it, they went to review and looked at it. In their opinion, the puck beat the goaltender. It got past his outstretched arm, hits the goal, and then trickles down. In their opinion, that puck would have crossed the goal line had the net been in its proper position. And a lot of people are freaking out and saying it shouldn't be a goal because it never actually crossed the goal. It has to cross the goal line in order for that rule to apply. But it actually says in the case book, it gives an example of the net players being behind the net, tilting it forward, so it's no longer at its proper height. When it comes down, if it were to fall on top of the goaltender, basically being pushed from behind, if that net is, say, at 45 degrees angle, so it's still anchored in its goalpost, but it's down, leaning towards center ice, and the puck were to hit the goalpost or the crossbar, let's say, puck hits the crossbar, and it clearly beats the goaltender, but can't go in the net because the net's no longer the height it should be. It's about 8 inches lower because it's being pushed forward. It says that is a goal. The referee can allow a goal, award a goal, because had that net been in its proper position, wouldn't hit the crossbar, it would have gone in the net. And this is no different. Little different set of circumstances, that it's no longer on its moorings, but it becomes a judgment call. Bottom line is, don't knock the net off, right?
If the net's and that's the key to this whole thing, is that it was the defensive team that knocked the net, because some people, obviously feel that the goalie wasn't able to do his job because of where the net was. But the whole key in this instance is that it was the defensive team that knocked the net off.
Correct. And there could be a modicum of truth that maybe the goaltender wasn't able to do his job because of where the net was. So that's where the referee awards the goal based on his judgment. It's a judgment call. And his judgment was the puck beat the goaltender, would have gone in the net had not the net been knocked off by the defense actions of the defensive team. And that stays in place. We don't have an issue. So blame the defenseman for knocking the net off. He shoved the forward into the net really hard, causing the net to come off. If he doesn't do that, then maybe the goaltender has a chance of making a save. We'll never know. But the referee used his judgment, and I support his judgment. To make a call like that, that's a highly pressure-filled call. No one's going to be happy either way. One team's going to be happy, one team's going to be upset.
Yeah.
So he used his judgment, went with his gut. He awarded a goal, and I commend him for making a really strong judgment call when there's a lot of pressure on him, and he got the call right, in my opinion. And it's supported by the rules.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I wanted to ask you too. So on this same category, what are the other instances where a goal could be awarded is an empty net breakaway, right? Guy gets hauled down. Even if he never shoots the puck, the ref can award a goal, correct?
That's right. Yep.
And then in terms of skirmishes in front of the net, the ref can disallow a goal for intent to blow the whistle, not only when the whistle actually was blown, but the intent to blow it. Can it be the other way around where the ref says, hey, I blew that prematurely, like bang, 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 obviously. I'm not talking about like a 3-second lag, but if there's something bang, bang, where the ref blew it and he's like, yep, that one was on me. That was 100%. Like there was no way they were stopping.
They changed the rule about 10 years ago. I mean, probably longer. I mean, I've been out of the league for 8 years now. So it's probably 15 years ago. They changed the rule. It's referred to in the rule book as culmination of a continuous play, meaning there can be no actions by any player touching the puck. The puck has to move on its own after the whistle goes. And the greatest example of that would be a player coming in on a one-on-one partial breakaway. He takes a slap shot from a bad angle, goes 5-hole. The goalie thinks he has the puck. Referee thinks he has the puck. You kill the play. Nobody's around the goaltender. And as you're blowing the whistle, the puck is actually trickling between his legs and moving slowly over the goal line. You can give a goal in that situation because that puck was unaffected by the whistle.
Okay.
Now, if there's a player on the back door and the whistle goes and then he bangs in that loose puck after the whistle, you've got to live with the whistle. That's no goal.
Okay.
But if the puck's movement is unaffected by any player and it's just moving on its own, it's referred to as culmination of a continuous play. You would award a goal. You would allow a goal in that case.
Okay. Now, out of those examples that I just mentioned, that you just mentioned, is there anything else that would give the referee the jurisdiction to award a goal?
Yes, there is. And
what do you got?
It was born of a really intelligent move by a goaltender about 5-6 years ago. Everyone probably saw it. It was all over YouTube. Team had a 2-on-0 breakaway. These guys were coming in I mean, how often do you see that, right?
Yeah, I know.
2-on-0, yep. And the goalie turns around and just knocks the net off. Because in his mind, he's going, well, the rule calls for a penalty shot because it's not an empty net. I'm still in the net. So when you knock the net off deliberately on a breakaway, it's a penalty shot. Smart move by the goaltender. He goes from a 2-on-0 to a 1-on-0, right? His chances are a lot better on a breakaway than it is with a 2-on-0 coming in on him. So they changed the rule. If the goaltender knocks the net off on a breakaway, even on one guy coming in now, if you knock the net off, or if he takes his mask off on a breakaway, it's an awarded goal.
Okay. Now, is that it? Like, what about in terms of there's like a cycling or whatever, end of a power play, and the goalie just says, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. Deliberately knocks it off.
No, that would
or
be
any kind of backdoor threat that he knocks it off deliberately, like full on deliberate.
That would be other than what's covered, imminent scoring chance. The player has to shoot the puck, like we just talked about, and then you can determine whether it would have gone through the where the post should have been. Other than that, it's a 2-minute minor. Goalie intentionally removes his mask, intentionally knocks it off. It's a 2-minute minor, delay a game, unless it's in the last 2 minutes or overtime. Then it's a penalty shot.
Okay.
And you can get into cases where if there's not enough time for the penalty to be served in its entirety, which is really technical, but that would mean a case where, for example, you're 5-on-3. You're 5-on-3, and there is 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third period, and you knock the net off. Well, that would be a penalty shot because the 2-minute delay of game penalty can't be served in its entirety because there's already 2 penalties in the clock, meaning that penalty wouldn't start till maybe like a minute and 30, which would bring you into that less than 2 minutes. You wouldn't get your full team, wouldn't get its full power play, wouldn't get its full 2 minutes. So then it becomes a penalty shot, but that's seldom ever happens. But that's something to be aware of. Watch it'll happen this weekend. Team will be 5-on-3. They'll get knocked off intentionally in the water penalty shot with 2:20 left in the game, and everybody will go, that's why. We listened to Dave Jackson on the podcast, and I know the rule.
The podcast said.
So fingers crossed. Let's hope it happens. Let's hope they get the call right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, interesting stuff. I love diving deep into the rules. Well, Dave, awesome as always. Next week, back at it.
Sounds good. We might have an issue next week, but we'll talk about it.
We'll figure it out.
It's the Olympic break, and I'm all over the map during Olympic break. So
all right. Yeah, we'll figure it out. If not, we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks. And all right. Yeah. Have a great day, Dave. Thank you. Okay. It's always fun to dive deep into the rules, into the weeds of the rules. You don't get a chance to do that all the time. So cool to do it when the opportunity arises. All right, let's do our proof of attendance token code for this episode. The proof of attendance token code is going to be playoff hunt, all one word. I gave you 2 words, but it's going to be one, all one word, playoff hunt. Enter the code on the podcast page at swanhockey.io. and you will be eligible to receive your proof of attendance token for watching this episode. Again, the codes must be entered by 9 p.m. the night that this show airs. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern is the cutoff. Our magic number is still 5. Collect 5 or more of these tokens, and you will have access to the member-only chat inside Club Fed in the Swan Hockey Discord server. Before we wrap it up, I just want to remind you, please keep Johnny Ruiz and his family in your prayers and thoughts. If you'd like to contribute, you can find the GoFundMe link on the Danbury Hat-Tricks Facebook page. You could also reach out to the Danbury Hat-Tricks. That's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, I will see you guys soon.
Thank you for being the best part of this episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass by Swan Hockey. We will see you soon.